but there has been an intense, really intense push by the Trump administration to keep these from coming out. And we are now, we are now in the scramble where the right, who are completely married to the idea of Donald Trump, is authoritarian rule and Republican control of the government, where they're beginning to sort of like go through a series of, I don't know how to really say this, excuses, explanations, ways in which to divert attention from this. And it's becoming increasingly difficult. We will get to some of the others who do this, but let's start with perhaps sort of the most grotesque attempt to underplay what's in there. I mean, you can look at these emails, and at the very least, it is quite definitive that everything that Donald Trump has said about his relationship with Epstein was a lie. We sort of already knew this. There's also really indisputable evidence that Ghislaine Maxwell, whatever she said to Donald Trump's second, the DOJ, who incidentally, Todd Blanche, who was his former defense lawyer up until like January 19th, went in and met with Ghislaine Maxwell to find out if she knew anything about Trump and his involvement with Epstein. She said, no, he was never around or anything. What? Donald Trump. I mean, I've heard the name. Obviously, he's the president, but these emails make it very clear that she lied to Todd Blanche. And following that interview, she was moved against all of Bureau of Prisons rules to a minimum security prison and is getting all sorts of benefits. The CNN did a piece about it. We'll talk more about that later. But Blanche supposedly had access to all of these emails. And even giving him the benefit of the doubt, that's a tremendous amount of incompetence to not actually make an assessment as to whether she lied. If Democrats had control of one house, they would pull Blanche up and they would be interviewing him. And this is what, this is part of the reason why there is so much fear of the Democrats even controlling one house. But here is an attempt by Megyn Kelly. I want to say longtime right-winger, but she took a break from being a right-winger when Donald Trump sort of excommunicated her by saying that she was bleeding from everywhere during a debate question that she had.
I think this was also after, like, she tried to rehab her rep after the Santa Claus is white thing, right?
Well, no, she never felt any need. No. Are you kidding? That was what, that's what
promoted
her career.
Oh, my bad.
No. She only tried to rehabilitate after Donald Trump basically excommunicated her.
Okay.
So she left Fox, told some tales about sexual harassment, I think, at Fox, and then headed over to NBC. So here is Megyn Kelly in 2018 on NBC.
You feel as a victim. You feel a victim. To people who are going to be out there, because some are going to judge and say you were 15, you were 16, you were 17, you were a willing participant. Again, the legal age of consent in California is 18, so there's no consenting for a 14 or even a 17-year-old in these circumstances.
Okay. There she is talking about, I guess, Scott Baio was accused of I think, having sex with a girl under the age of consent. I don't remember the details of that, but largely it's not important because at that time, Megyn Kelly, all the way back in 2018, understood that was statutory rape. You can't give consent definitionally because of your age, at least legally because of your age. That's statutory rape. Well, apparently, 7 years later, in 2025, as in like yesterday, I think it was, Megyn Kelly has a new understanding of what statutory rape is now that it becomes clear that Donald Trump may have been involved with teenage girls via Jeffrey Epstein.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting.
Pause it for 1 second. I just want a point of clarification.
Yeah.
15 is not barely legal. 15
Not even
is
barely illegal.
It's not quite legal.
It is totally illegal.
Yeah, like you're going to jail.
Barely legal is someone who is a couple of days older than the age of consent, or a month older than the age of consent, or a year older than the age of consent. That's not barely legal. That's illegal. Go back.
That he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't
really.
into,
Pause it.
like,
Not actually facts. It's interesting.
lied.
I think she's an attorney, right? She doesn't know what facts are. So, in fact, what she is doing is she is trying to make excuses. She's trying to make excuses, but trying not to own it. That I just want to make that clear. Go back.
15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look
Sounds like he liked
legal to a passerby. And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it kiddie porn, now they call it child sexual abuse material, on his computer, that for the first time I thought, oh no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters anymore. Yeah, so I don't know what's true about him, but we have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10. I was under 14.
So what?
Well, but understand what she's doing here, because she's saying that, first of all, a teen is not a type. It's like, I like to date someone who's athletic, or I like to date someone who's crunchy, or I like to date someone who's, a free
Religious,
spirit type.
Christian.
Yeah, a religious type. Teen is not a type. That's not a type.
It's a red flag.
It's a, massive red flag. But understand what she's doing here. She is willing to sort of entertain the notion that Epstein may have been a real pedophile. But she's pretending that she's talking about Epstein. And the fact is, at the end of the day, this is not about Epstein. It's about Epstein's relationships with other powerful people who may have engaged in this stuff. And so what she's doing is she's trying to use Epstein as a way of redefining what statutory rape is, what pedophilia is. And why would she be doing this? Is she doing it for Epstein's benefit? Is she worried about Epstein's legacy? No, she is beginning a project that I wasn't sure if they would ever do this, although I'm sure that at times we joked about it, where they want to basically redefine what pedophilia, what statutory rape is, in the event that one of their favorites, like Donald Trump, is found to have engaged in that stuff. And that's what's going on. There's going to be a whole barrage of ways in which they deflect from this. And it's going to be important to sort of call it out when we see it. I don't know how many people are going to buy that. I don't know who she thinks she's kidding there. But I don't think that Megyn Kelly is on a Jeffrey Epstein reform his reputation project. She's doing this because she is trying to build a function, if you will, a black box, so that if new information about other people comes out, that black box exists and that information is fed through that black box. And when it comes out the other side, it's like, well, you like to type. You like to type.
That's how it was in the biblical days.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like, I'm sure that's what Matt Walsh is doing. I haven't checked, but
in some ways, Donald Trump is more God-fearing because he's gone back to, does anybody think that Abraham's wife was in her 20s? I don't think so. That's what we're going to see next from these people. So keep an eye on it. As the show progresses, we will play some clips of other people trying to run defense for this as well. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.